Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today I'm going to be trying out Alchemy lacquers for the first time. As you probably know, I picked up a few Alchemy lacquer shades over Black Friday. They had been on my radar for a couple of months. I had a few comments asking if I would ever review them, so I was really happy to do a little haul and try some of them out. I did try to pick an assortment of different shades and finishes, but they are mainly crellies and toppers, so I hope you still enjoy seeing them. The first polish that I have is Solar Halo, and this is, of course, a shimmery, ethereal, sheer kind of shade. I would say this one has a bit of a periwinkle kind of base color, and it's absolutely packed with iridescent shimmer and flakies that are this golden yellow glow head on, but then they shift to green and aqua in more extreme angles. It is just such a magical shade. You guys know that I love these type of shimmery sheers so much, though I was a little on the fence about this one just because it has both the iridescent shimmers and flakies. I wasn't sure if it was going to look a little too busy on the nail for me, but I actually really liked how it looked. So here it is in 2 coats plus indirect lighting, so you can see that beautiful shift to that green and aqua. It is just so pretty, and this one had a fantastic formula too. It was such a dream to apply and just built up so beautifully. Next, I have Fata Morgana, and this is a super light and airy cornflower crelly base that is packed with these iridescent flakies that shift from gold to green. It is just such a magical, whimsical kind of shade. This one had a really nice formula too, where it wasn't super even coverage. You can see I kind of have this streak in the middle of my nail, but it did build up really nicely on 2 coats alone, which I was kind of surprised considering it was such a light base color. I guess if I am really picky, there is a little bit of a bald spot near the center slash tip of my nail, but I think there's just so many flakies in here that it just covers it up a lot, so it doesn't really bother me too much. But yeah, this one is absolutely beautiful. I just love this type of iridescent shift that goes from yellow to green to blue. I kind of had a hard time catching it on camera, but I would say it's very obvious in real life. Next, I have Walhelivor, which I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but this is this absolutely adorable, almost like a pastel minty green crelly base that has these purple, hot pink, and rose gold metallic hex glitters, as well as this gold shimmer or like a micro glitter. It is just such a beautiful color combination to me. I mean, if you watched my favorite crellies video, you know that I just love these types of crelly formulas so much. I was really so excited over this one, and I absolutely loved it so much. It had another amazing formula where the base was definitely very even coverage, even on the first coat alone. I found it opaque for me in 2 coats, and I especially love the glitter to base ratio. Then for the toppers, the first one that I have is Copper Kaleidoscope, and this is just a copper holographic shimmer topper. I don't think this is a micro glitter because it just didn't really feel gritty to me at all. It was very like smooth and fine, but I was just so surprised at how dense this was in 1 coat alone. I think it looks really cool. It almost gives me like cinnamon sugar vibes, which I have been loving, especially in the fall. And because it's copper, I think it's gonna look so nice over a deep purple. Like, again, just instant fall vibes. And I feel like it was kind of hard to tell that it was copper on camera unless I like moved my finger a bit more out of focus, but it definitely is like a noticeable orange kind of color as opposed to a yellow gold, which I really loved. Next, I had to grab Peppermint Twist, which is this adorable glitter topper with matte white hex glitters and square glitters and metallic red glitters. It is just so cute. I'm always such a sucker for very like seasonally themed polishes, as well as just glitter toppers like this. Like, it really just reminds me of the early indie scene, but I think this one is just done so well. It is just such a cute mix, and I feel like it shouldn't be a surprise, especially if you watched my favorite glitters video. I shared a couple of toppers that are more or less something like this. I just think it's so fun and sweet, especially for winter, and I'm really loving it over a minty green base. And the last topper that I have is Champ, and this one is this super vibrant aqua to blue and purple shifting micro shimmer. In case you missed it in my Black Friday haul video, the reason that I got this was to kind of recreate those like super shifty blue shimmers that you see in Polish Pickup. I'm just trying it here over a sheer base, which I didn't love because it definitely emphasized the yellowing of my nails, but here it is over Ube Jelly, which I think looks kind of cute. I was trying to recreate this one Phoenix polish from Polish Pickup, and it's definitely giving similar vibes, but I feel like the shimmer particles in Champ are just a little too large. Like a lot of the blue shimmer polishes that I really like are almost more like a sheen, where it's just like very fine but also very packed together. So I tried to layer it over a couple of other Cirque Jellies, and I kind of like it. I think maybe I might need to do like another coat of Champ, or even just try layering it over some creams, but yeah, definitely still a very beautiful blue to purple shift. And lastly, I wanted to do a swatch of Farside, which was the Black Friday exclusive that I received, which I believe somebody had commented that they were giving this out for orders of $35 or more. But I mentioned in my video that I wasn't even aware that this was going on, so it was a pleasant surprise. So admittedly, this one didn't really wow me, at least just from the bottle alone, but once I applied it, I just fell in love because obviously it is a blue shimmer in a purple base, which is just so up my alley. This one had a really nice formula too, where it was a little bit sheer on the first coat, but very buildable. Like I don't think you would need a third coat, and that shimmer just glows. So moving on to comparisons, I wanted to show Fata Morgana next to ILNP's Up Above, because as soon as I got it in the mail, I was like, wait, I have this polish already. I don't know why it didn't occur to me when I was looking at it on the website. I guess to be fair, they aren't 100% dupes, but they are very similar. Fata Morgana is just a little bit lighter and has more of those flakies, and ILNP is just a little more sheer. Then for Champ, I of course had to show this next to Holo Taco's Freezer Burn, which was from their Fire and Ice bundle. It is a beautiful blue to purple shifting shimmery topper, but hopefully you can see that Champ has more of an aqua color head on. So even though it does shift to purple, it's not a dupe. And lastly for Farside, I wanted to try to recreate it using Cirque's Ube Jelly, which was from their Gourmand collection last year. I just thought that the shades of purple were really similar, but sadly I couldn't use Champ because again, that has more of an aqua color instead of the brighter blue in Farside. So Holo Taco's Freezer Burn ended up being a much closer kind of color match. I ended up doing one layer of Holo Taco over 2 coats of Cirque's Ube Jelly, and wasn't really giving what I thought it was gonna give. Ube Jelly is just way too sheer and not as vibrant as the purple base in Farside. And kind of like I mentioned before with Champ, I feel like these shimmer particles in Holo Taco's Freezer Burn just aren't as densely packed. Like it's more of a sheen in Farside. So that wraps up my first time trying Alchemy lacquers. So I can't wait to hear what you all think of my choices, and especially if you have tried Alchemy lacquers before. If you haven't, are you interested in them after seeing some of these? Because if it isn't obvious enough, I am a big fan of them. I'm generally really impressed with their formulas being like so smooth and easy to work with. I love the brushes. I just think the polishes are so fun and unique too. Like they definitely have a very indie feel to them, but I think they're really well done. I would love to know if you're interested in any of the shades that I showed, or if there are others on their site that you really like. As far as other shades that I was eyeing but ended up not getting, obviously, the main one was another topper called Lucky, which is essentially like a green version of Champ, because obviously I'm a sucker for that glowy green kind of shimmer. It definitely would be really unique to my collection, but I'm still kind of on the fence about these shimmer toppers, just having that slightly larger particle size, so it's like not that sheen that I'm kind of looking for. But another shade that I was eyeing that I really have not stopped thinking about is called Vivacious. It's this super glowy, fiery shimmer in this like coral leaning base color. It just looks so gorgeous, so up my alley. I actually don't know why I didn't pick that one up. I guess maybe it just reminded me of like some other shades I might have in my collection, but it also reminds me of this Polish for Days shade, I think called Star Coins. I don't remember if it was a part of like a specific box collaboration kind of thing, but I just love orange shimmers in like this berry purple or pink kind of base color. So I might consider getting Vivacious in a future haul. But speaking of alternatives, while I was browsing the Alchemy Lacquers website, I feel like I noticed a lot of like familiar shades where they reminded me of shades from other brands. Kind of wanted to mention them just in case you were looking for alternatives, because Alchemy Lacquers is like a few dollars cheaper, especially compared to these boutique brands. I even mentioned one of them before in my Holo Taco after party video when they came out with Disco Dust, their rainbow reflective taco. Alchemy Lacquers actually has a very similar looking shade called Rainbow Reflections. I'm not sure how many coats the swatchers did for their swatch photos, so it does look really dense, so I'm not sure if it's going to be as dense as like Copper Kaleidoscope, for example, but definitely a good alternative if you are looking for a rainbow reflective topper. There's also Polar Vortex, which kind of reminded me of like a lighter maybe shade of Triceratops from Mooncat. That was their gray jelly base with these like blue iridescent flakies that came out in the Pretty Prehistoric collection. I'm pretty sure the Alchemy Lacquers one does not dry down matte, so that's an option. There's also this shade called Europa, which is like this really dark kind of like navy blue jelly flaky polish, and that one reminded me of Mooncat's When Hell Freezes Over, which was a limited edition polish that I think came out last year. I would say that the Alchemy Lacquers one looks a little more like a true blue, whereas Mooncat's has like a bit more of a teal kind of tone to it. And lastly, there's this shade called Spark, which really reminds me of Cirque's Moonbeam, where it's one of Cirque's like shimmer formulas that has that white crowley base with this like golden yellow shimmer in there. I think the main difference is that Spark doesn't look like it has those like dainty hollow sparkles in it. But again, just options. So I hope you leave me any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!